The fashion world stood still last night as Wong Iba delivered what industry insiders are calling the most unexpected transformation of 2025 at Chanel's exclusive BLEU collection launch in Paris. But it wasn't just his stunning appearance that had photographers scrambling in social media, exploding with over 50 million posts in the first hour alone. The real shock came when Xiao Zhan made a surprise entrance wearing a custom BLEU ensemble that had fashion critics questioning everything they thought they knew about celebrity partnerships and brand collaborations. What happened in those crucial 15 minutes between Wong Iba's red carpet arrival and Xiao Zhan's dramatic entrance has become the most debated moment in recent entertainment history. Eyewitnesses report that Wong Iba, known for his edgy streetwear aesthetic and rebellious fashion choices, appeared almost unrecognizable in a sophisticated navy blue Chanel suit that seemed to strip away every trace of his usual bold persona. The transformation was so complete that several veteran fashion journalists initially failed to recognize him, leading to what one reporter called the most surreal moment of my 30-year career. But the evening's most controversial twist was yet to come, and when it did, it would challenge everything fans thought they knew about these two superstars. As Wang Yibo posed for photographers, appearing unusually subdued and almost vulnerable in his refined blue attire, whispers began circulating through the crowd about an unscheduled appearance that would change the narrative completely. Little did anyone know that Xiao Zhan was already inside the venue, preparing for what sources are now calling the most calculated yet spontaneous fashion statement of the decade. The anticipation in the air was palpable as luxury fashion's most influential figures gathered at the Grand Palais, expecting a typical brand ambassadorship event. Instead, they witnessed what fashion historian Dr. Marie Dubois later described as a masterclass in subverting expectations while simultaneously honoring tradition. The Chanel BLEU collection, known for its celebration of masculine elegance through various shades of blue, had found its perfect ambassadors in two of Asia's most enigmatic stars, but nobody could have predicted how dramatically the evening would unfold. When Wong Iba first stepped onto the blue carpet, the transformation was immediately apparent to everyone present. Gone was the leather-clad, motorcycle-riding persona that had defined his public image for years. Instead, he presented himself as a vision of refined sophistication in a midnight blue three-piece suit that seemed to be crafted specifically for his lean frame. The jacket, with its subtle peak lapels and hand-stitched details, created a silhouette that was both classic and contemporary. His hair, typically styled in rebellious waves, was slicked back in a manner that emphasized his sharp jawline and intense gaze. The fabric itself told a story of luxury and craftsmanship that only Chanel could deliver. The midnight blue wool was woven with threads that caught the light differently from various angles, creating a subtle shimmer that suggested depth and mystery. Fashion experts noted that this particular shade of blue, which Chanel had designated as bleu mystère, required a specific weaving technique that took master craftsmen months to perfect. The suit's cut was impeccable, tailored to Wang Yibo's measurements with mathematical precision that created the illusion of broader shoulders while maintaining the elegant line from shoulder to hem. What truly caught everyone's attention, however, was the emotional transformation that seemed to accompany the physical one. Wang Yibo, typically confident and almost defiant in his public appearances, appeared contemplative and introspective. His usual swagger was replaced by a more measured, graceful movement that suggested careful consideration of every step. Photographers noted that he seemed to be channeling a different version of himself, one that was more vulnerable and accessible than the untouchable superstar persona his fans had grown accustomed to. The blue theme extended beyond just the clothing. The event space itself had been transformed into what one attendee described as an ocean of blue possibilities. Different shades of blue, from the palest powder blue to the deepest navy, cascaded throughout the venue in carefully orchestrated waves. Lighting designers had created an atmosphere where blue seemed to be alive, shifting and changing as guests moved through the space. The effect was both calming and energizing, creating an environment where fashion could be appreciated as both art and personal expression. As Wang Iba moved through the crowd, engaging with fashion editors and industry luminaries, there was a sense that something significant was about to happen. His interactions seemed more thoughtful, his responses to questions more nuanced than usual. When asked about his connection to the Chanel BLEU collection, he spoke about finding new aspects of myself through fashion and the courage required to show vulnerability in a public space. These were not the typical sound bites fans expected from him, and the sincerity in his voice suggested that this transformation was more than just a marketing strategy. The evening's program had been carefully planned, with Wong Iba scheduled to present the collection through a series of outfit changes that would demonstrate the versatility of Chanel's BLEU palette. However, what happened next was entirely unscripted and would become the moment that defined not just the event, but potentially the future relationship between these two stars and their respective fan communities. Just as Wong Iba was preparing for his second look, a murmur began to ripple through the crowd. Those positioned near the venue's main entrance began turning their heads, their expressions shifting from casual interest to genuine surprise. The murmur grew into excited whispers, and then into something approaching stunned silence as Xiao Zhan appeared at the entrance, wearing an ensemble that nobody had expected and that would dominate fashion headlines for weeks to come. Xiao Zhan's outfit was a masterpiece of coordinated contrast. Where Wang Yibo had chosen the safety of traditional elegance, Xiao Zhan had embraced bold experimentation within the BLEU theme. His outfit consisted of a cerulean blue silk shirt that seemed to flow like liquid when he moved, paired with deep blue trousers that appeared almost black until the light hit them at the right angle. Over this, he wore a powder blue jacket with subtle embroidered details that caught the light and created patterns that seemed to shift and change as he walked. The choice to attend the event was controversial in itself. Xiao Zhan had not been officially announced as part of the evening's program, and his presence immediately raised questions about the nature of his relationship with both the brand and with Wong Iba. Fashion insiders began speculating about whether this was a spontaneous decision or a carefully orchestrated surprise that had been kept secret from all but the most senior Chanel executives. What made his appearance even more remarkable was the way he had interpreted the BLEU theme. While Wong Iba had chosen to work within traditional menswear conventions, Xiao Zhan had pushed boundaries in a way that was both respectful of the brand's heritage and boldly innovative. The blue silk shirt, for instance, featured a cut that was neither traditionally masculine nor feminine, but something entirely new that seemed to exist in its own category. The way the fabric moved with his body created an almost hypnotic effect that had photographers working overtime to capture every angle. The moment when Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan first made eye contact across the crowded room became the subject of intense speculation and analysis. Video footage from multiple angles shows Wang Yibo's expression shifting from surprise to something more complex, a mixture of admiration, uncertainty, and what some observers interpreted as genuine emotion. Xiao Zhan's expression was equally compelling, suggesting that he too was experiencing something unexpected in that moment. Their eventual meeting in the center of the venue was captured by dozens of cameras, but the audio of their conversation was lost in the general excitement of the crowd. Lip readers later claimed they could make out fragments of their exchange, including what appeared to be Wang Yibo saying, "You look incredible," and Xiao Zhan responding with something that might have been, "I couldn't miss seeing you like this." However, these interpretations remain unconfirmed, and both stars have remained diplomatically silent about the specifics of their conversation. The fashion implications of their joint appearance were immediately apparent to industry professionals. Here were two of Asia's biggest stars, each with distinctly different fan bases and public personas, coming together in a way that honored both their individual styles and the Chanel brand's vision. The BLEU theme provided a unifying element while allowing each of them to express their unique interpretation of elegance and sophistication. Wang Yibo's choice to embrace classic tailoring represented a significant evolution in his public image. Throughout his career, he had built his brand on being the rebel,